Next, Washington and Dallas face off for the second time in 3 weeks. The football team's looking to sweep for the second straight season, while the Cowboys seek their 8th win in the last 12 meetings. It's NFC East football on Sunday night.
GA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Washington football team. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gautin, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for visiting Washington, it's been perfection so far. They come in here unbeaten at 14-0.
And just 2 wins away from doing something only 2 teams have ever done. But the most important thing for them now is to make it to the postseason in one piece.
Season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by their 4th-year man from Houston. It's Kyle Allen.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. And Charles, you think about this offense, it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up. Maybe could use some time sharing, some time on the bench, just to rest. How do you approach the rest of this regular season?
I'm telling you, you don't ask the easy stuff, do you? I mean, you created a heck of a situation there, and actually you didn't create it. You presented it, and you're exactly right. It is tricky because your eye has to be on the ultimate prize, which is the Super Bowl. That's paramount. But at the same time, how much fun would it be to go down as one of the all-time great teams and join the 1972 Dolphins as the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl?
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. In need of only about the length of the football here on second down. And here's a give to Gibson. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line.
There you go. Got him again. Got him again.
Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. A handoff for Gibson. Runs through the contact. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP, Tom. I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. J.D. McKissick with touchdown number 20 on the year. And Washington takes the ball down the field and scores on their opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point attempt to follow here. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. So that drive goes 8 plays and a 9-yard run on the end of it. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From just inside the 20, a short kick. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott set to go on offense for the first time. And with Dak at the controls, his 6th season under center now as the Cowboys quarterback.
You remember last year he got off to an incredible start, threw for over 450 yards in 3 straight weeks, including 502 against the Cleveland Browns in Week 4. Just 4 yards short of the franchise's single-game record. Then came his injury in Week 5 that pretty well derailed the Cowboys season. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss. We talked about it prior to the game, and it played out right there on the first play, didn't it? This offensive line is going to have its hands full all night long. Now, you often speak of scripts to start a game. Does this mean that play number 2, they're going to go off the script a little bit? Yeah, what's interesting is that most people, when they script now, they actually script those contingencies in, okay, in case they can't run the play they want to. How it's long distance now? Let's go to that play.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Prescott. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. It got his man complete. And he'll go out of bounds finally at the 7. A big play here for Dallas. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
First and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. Now Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get him over the goal line.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, his team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They will run it. It's McKissick. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. This defense for the Cowboys, they were very strong in the win last week over the Giants.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut and he goes, that's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
These two teams all tied after 1.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. A carry now for McKissick. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
It's over.
A big play that time through the air. 32 yards. What a luxury to have a tight end that can run a post route like that.
It's a luxury for the offense. It's an extreme luxury for the quarterback. Always has a great outlet and usually able to come up with a nice play down the middle of the field.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
They'll run with McKissick. Oh, some strong running. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. J.D. McKissick, his 21st touchdown of the season. And Washington has taken the lead. So his strong first half continues as he finds the end zone here for the 2nd time.
And definitely good blocking at the point of attack, and you just have to love watching the way you can create space down near the goal line, and he's able to take it into the end zone.
Slide for the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And shedding through the tackle. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Well, kind of a quirk in the schedule. These two division rivals didn't see each other much of the year. Their first meeting was just a few weeks ago, back in Week 14. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Prescott. And his throw here's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense.
The veteran in his first year with the Cowboys, Brian Anger, on to punt. As he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Shreds him with a stiff arm. 35 yards that time on the punt. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 46 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Antonio Gibson is an absolute dart with the ball in his hands, and he can make you miss, and he can run over you. Took a little while to crack the starting lineup as a rookie, but boy, was he sensational when he did. Went for 115 yards and 3 scores in a Thanksgiving Day clobbering with the Dallas Cowboys. At Washington, they feel like they had a real find when they took him in the 3rd round last year, number 66 overall, and he justified their decision. I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Here's McKissick. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
McKissick again on 2nd down. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down.
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
After review of the play, ruling on the field stands.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now 21-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Cowboy offense heading out. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And for them right now, not a done deal. They are holding down one of the final 3 wild card spots with 2 weeks to go. But, you know, there are others, Charles, kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And, Brandon, it's always worth keeping in mind, and I have to keep writing it down for myself. Remember, it's 7 teams in each conference now making the playoffs. So that brings more important games to the end of the season. So, in theory, more teams alive for a postseason berth later in the year. Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
Check, 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 check. Right, baby. Keep it going, dog. Keep it going. Dominated, boys. Dominated. Ready to go, boy. Ready to get us started now. Just gotta be patient, baby. Just gotta be patient.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. On 2nd and 12, Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. His throw incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Prescott. He'll get this to Elliott. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. The Cowboys looking to get going again in a hurry. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
He's 2nd in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays a game of great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his closing speed, and another example of it on that play. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Allen. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And this one is incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. To throw again on 2nd down. Allen. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
He'll air this one out deep for Sims. This one incomplete. Almost picked off by the rookie, but he couldn't quite look it in. And now it's 4th down.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. He's going to try and go deep again. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Well, that, my friend, I guess is the definition of a head-scratcher. 4th and long, this stage of the game. What were they doing? I
just have to believe that he looked at the situation, still in the first half, decided if there's a time to be aggressive, now was it, because there's still time to make up for it if things don't go right. Of course, a lot of questions on this one, and look, I want to go for it as much as anyone.
But 4th and long?
Yeah, I don't think I would have there. That one seemed a little bit on the irrational side.
Fans might be a little angry at that one. On 1st and 10, Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he's got this down to the 35. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Throwing, Prescott. And he'll go underneath here to Elliott. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. 1st down, Prescott. And that will be incomplete with the clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. And he's going to go down, sacked right around the 17. He'll lose a couple on what should be the final play of the first half. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, Time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin our tour out at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, where it was the visiting Niners who are able to come away with the road victory. Elijah Mitchell, a touchdown run in the victory. From there, we head up to Wisconsin to check out the Packers at home in Lambeau. And they were winners in that ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. Aaron Rodgers, excellent in the W, as his guys get victory number 12 on the year. And finally, on Monday Night Football, no Ricky Williams, but it is the Dolphins and the Saints to wrap up Week 16 from the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Washington. And a big part of their success on the scoreboard is their success in the running game. Over 100 yards as a team in those first 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break. Both teams making their final preparations for this second half of action. So with that, let's get you back out to Arlington, where we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume. Looking up into the lights, and he muffs it. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
The first down run for Elliott will net him about 5 yards. It's second down. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They go to Elliott again. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. That result, really no surprise. That's what we're becoming accustomed to with this #1 ranked rush defense.
And you study the game. Does this bring back a few memories? Maybe the 85 Bears trying to move the ball against them, 2000 Ravens. Heck, how about the late 60s, early 70s Purple People Eaters, the Minnesota Vikings? Hard to move the ball against those types of teams.
And that will be incomplete. But the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Dallas. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. First possession of the second half now for Washington. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
We'll see what his offense can do.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Allen's throw taken in by Samuel. And out across midfield down to the 45.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode Really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On play action, Allen. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Dallas, Texas is the spot, third quarter inside AT&T Stadium. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10. He'll let this go for the end zone. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is Tony Pollard. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The Dallas offense back out onto the field. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Prescott. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A give to Elliott. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Prescott to throw it. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller.
All day, baby. Let's get this.
So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
Washington ready to try again on offense. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Washington. Curtis Samuel with touchdown number 7 on the year. And Washington going to add on to their lead.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 28. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now Pollard. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Again, it's Elliott. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let it pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Prescott on first down. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Chase Young in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. 10th carry now for Elliott. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Arlington. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The Cowboys on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. To throw is Prescott. Able to hit his target, Lamb. And to the 46 he goes and no further. So he is well short of the first down marker. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And Washington will take control of the football in great field position. And to give this time to the tailback. He'll get only a couple down to the 44. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Thomas brings it in. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Let's go, defense. Here we go.
They'll run. It's Gibson. And he's brought down. 60 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
You ain't going to burn me.
Ready? 60 Bison, 60 Bison.
McKissick. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So they brought the extra bulk in down on the 1-yard line, and they're able to push this one across.
Yeah, I can just see your face right now because I know we're mind melding on this one. Coach Madden would love this. Power football, hat on a hat, chest to chest, driving forward, touchdown.
Now Joey Sly for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Here we go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Prescott. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Montez Sweat in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. Here's Brian Anger now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returnable here from the 38. A solid stiff arm. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. And Allen is actually going to throw it here. Trying to lay one up deep. And incomplete on the deep ball. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. From the gun, it's Allen. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
And from where we sit, if you had told me that that ball was somehow going to get from point A to point B, I would have told you no way. I mean, that was an absolute cannon shot, and he still dropped it right on the money, too.
And the next-gen stats, they tell the story. That's a full 67 yards in the air. Sly on for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Prescott from the gun. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Chase Young able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And Washington will take control of the football in great field position. So Allen's going to look to throw. And he will find his man Samuel. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Washington, they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they run their mark to 15-0 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, it's a tough blow to their playoff aspirations as they drop to 9-6. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals.